let's explore Toolkit 1. Why do we have the materials in a kit? Well, the real reason is that there is a key concept that drives each kit. It's like a book. In this case, it's how to look at dance and to develop the vocabularies for looking at dance, decoding it, and talking about it, and thinking about it. And there is a key piece of the kit around which everything else is in support of. So every material in here is integrated, and they support each other in very tangible ways. So let's look at it. This particular one, Viewing Dance, Toolkit 1, has one key concept, and that is when you look at dance, just like anything in life, you really have 4 steps before you get into a complete critique of it. First of all, you need to look at something closely enough to be able to describe it in regular words. Next, you need to analyze it, and analyze it in specifics. Because you've done these 2 steps, then you have the tools to make sense of it, to interpret it, to decode it, to understand it. And after you understand it, then you can evaluate it. So the poster that drives this kit is this poster that would be for the wall. Now the teaching charts that go with it are the ways that you teach each step in detail. Let's look at describe. The purpose of this is to describe the work, and the main question that you want students to ask is, what do you see? On the back there are examples and prompts that enable you from simple to complex to cue students as to what you want them to do here. Which dance elements stand out? Describe the movement, the set, the costumes. So you have your prompts on the back. In this case, all 4 of the steps have the same process and examples for prompts on the back. Your beginning students will look at the question, and you can begin to add more as time goes on to make it more complex and sequential. So the 4-step critique is the key piece of this chart. Now part of describe is helped immeasurably by a set of 90 concepts. There are 45 cards, and they're either or. So these are Decoding Dance Works cards, and each one is different. So as you can start out giving 1 card per group, or you might even start out with just 1 card per class and say, you know, when we look at this dance work, does it accelerate or decelerate? You may just choose one of the concepts to use that fits the dance. In this case, we would want to consider, as I said, that you can make it more sequential. You can start it out 1 card per group to discuss whether that is in the dance itself, or to what extent, or to help them understand it and describe it. Eventually, you want to be able to give each student, as they advance, their own card. So you say, now I want you to, for example, describe the work and tell what you see. What do you see? I also am going to give you a card to see if, you know, who has a card that describes the work. Either both of them, or one of them, or none of them. So it's a critical thinking mechanism to use these cards to make that judgment. If it doesn't apply, then you don't use it to describe. But it may give you some other ideas to add to the concept, to the deconstruction of the dance, or it may give you some new ideas to add to your thought processes. It may be the real piece that gets a whole discussion started on that topic and something that you would have missed on your own. So these are 90 concepts, and then the advanced kit, all the green kits have this set in there. Advanced kits have an additional set of 90 more concepts, and the ultimate has a third set of decoding dance works. So you have hundreds of ideas to bring to the table to help analyze, describe and analyze a dance. So you see that's integrated into these two steps of the process. Now, to help you interpret and evaluate, there are critiquing cards. So you ask now, when you're trying to interpret it or evaluate it, how effectively does this dance do whatever? In this particular case, use intricate steps, use sculptural shapes. Now, you use these cards differently. You wouldn't give these out to everybody because it would take 3 days to answer all the questions about it. You wouldn't want to do that. But these cards are ones that you can pick and choose from to bring out the points of a dance that you want them to discuss and to inquire into. So these are very rich, wonderful tools. You only need one set of these. They would last you for all 12 years or all 4 years of college, and probably both. In addition, when you get to the analyze step, one of the things to analyze is the dance elements. How does space fit into that dance? How is time used? How is energy used? Relationships? What's going on with the body? So you've got all of the dance elements. But the other thing is, very important, you need to analyze the principles of design. And that is cued in the back here. So how are the core 4 principles of choreographic design used? So let's look at that and let's see how you integrate that into your teaching. The principles of design appear as a poster that has all of them listed. You can put them on the wall for reference. And they also have a set of 10 different charts, we call them focus charts, that focuses the details of each one. So let's look at variety, for example, which is the second principle of design. And for beginners, you would say it's to expand, change, and manipulate the same movement. You want that kind of variety. One of the principles is repetition, so that might be a movement that is a core movement, and then variety is a way to expand that movement, change it, and manipulate it throughout the dance. So this is the beginning level. And for students as they advance or get older, you can add, you want to diversify or modify the core movements. So this just adds another layer to it when students are ready. Examples go from simple to complex. Show one kind of move in many different ways. So beginners would just focus on the first part and of that and the first part of this. Then you add layers. There are 10 of these, so the focus charts give you the opportunity to bring them out, to use them for the lesson's goals and objectives. I normally don't post these on the wall, although some teachers do and find it useful after they've thoroughly learned them. I just find they're fresher to bring out as reminders or as prompts when the lesson warrants it. Do whatever suits you best. Also, there's some little cue cards in here that remind us that the dance, the choreographic principles of design also work really well together. You'll notice that they're grouped here into 3 segments. And what I call the core 4 principles, which you have to have in order for a dance to work. You have to have repetition in order for the work to hold together. You've got to have unity for completeness through the beginning, middle, and end. You've got to have some variety in that repetition, but you need to have some contrast as well, and these work extremely well together. Now these are posters that you might want to put on the wall, and you might want to teach these 4 principles as the first 4, because I believe they are the key. And there again, it just shows pictorially what these core principles would be, the core 4, and then the intermediate ones and so forth. So you have principles of design that help you analyze a dance and describe how it is put together, how it choreographically holds together, how it is developed over time, the artistic principles that underlie all the design arts have application to all the dances that we create and make. So everything in this kit then works around this idea of the 4-step critique and learning it thoroughly, using the principles of design to help do that, and the Decoding Dance Works cards. So I hope you find this helpful. I should mention there's also a handbook or an idea book that gives you prompts and ideas of how to use the materials and gives you some background on it that enrich your classes. So each kit comes with a book. I should also mention that each kit has, this one being the first one, is the foundation kit. The next kit, which is on choreography, starts with all of this and moves forward to the next step. And so when you're doing choreography, you certainly need to have the principles of design to work with, and you also want to be able to analyze it and critique it to refine it. So all of it is, all of the materials are integrated in the kits, all of the kits themselves. But in this particular case, this kit is all integrated around the 4-step critique. So good luck with good teaching.